Table Talk, a place for honest conversations and getting to meet friends. My name is Betsy Thompson, and I'm here with Raul. Thank you so much for saying yes to coming and hanging out today. It's going to be super fun. I'm excited to get to know Raul and for you to get to know him as well. Right now on Table Talk, we are chatting with all the members of our pastor search team, and Raul is on that team. And so we're going to get to know him and hear his story and just hear his heart for this season of our church as we go through transition. So again, thank you for coming to hang out. And I will speak for the entirety of Sagemont Church. Thank you for saying yes to being on the pastor search team.
Oh yes, it was an honor. It's an honor.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I love that. And I know it. And the thing that I hear from the pastor search team, and I'm sure you will agree with this, is that when you said yes, you knew what you were saying yes to. The weight of what the Lord was calling you to do in this.
Yeah, that's one thing is when I got the phone call is because they wanted to know an answer, and I go, hey, listen, let me give me a couple of days because I need to pray about this. But I also understood that the Lord's going to put a door in front of you or some kind of ministry in front of you or something in front of you. You don't know what's on the other side of it, and that's what he says. I want you to just walk by faith, and that's basically what I heard the whole time. And I says, okay, all right, Lord. And then
that's awesome.
There's my yes.
There you go. Yeah. I love that. That I had never stopped and thought about that. But when God puts that in front of you, he says, hey, just say yes to walking through the door. He doesn't tell us all the things that are behind the door.
No, he doesn't.
That's the walking in faith.
That's it. Yeah.
So, which is also I think a lot of the fun part is getting to see what God's going to do and how he's going to work through it.
Exactly.
So, well, I'm so glad that, did you know that your name had been submitted?
Not one bit. When I got the phone call, I thought it was, because Annie LeBlanc and I know each other pretty well. And we've been trying to get with him to eat lunch. And so he calls me and I go, hey, call me in about an hour. I can talk freely. And so calls me and then he says, hey, hold on. I'm going to put you on conference. A conference? And he starts reading this thing. I go, oh my gosh, what's this about?
Right.
And then I realized it's for the pastor search team.
Wow.
And I go, you got the right person, man? You sure you're talking to the right guy? He did. And Wes Holloman was on the phone.
Yeah.
And oh man, I know him.
And I'm no help because I don't know who all called.
No. It's oh man, I know him. I see his face. Anyway, there's three
people that called.
The pastor, I'm sorry.
Was it Stewart?
No. It was, he's personnel team.
Hudson Hanks.
And I know him very well.
Yes.
His family very well. And he called, they were all on there, and they were all encouraging, very encouraging. Yeah. And I thanked them for it. And it was an honor. And so here I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so tell me just kind of your salvation story. Tell me about your walk with the Lord, but then also just your Sagemont story. How'd you end up here? How long have you been here? All that kind of stuff.
Sure. I grew up in the East End, right here.
Oh, in Houston?
Yeah,
okay.
In the Avenues. Born and raised Catholic.
Okay.
My dad was World War II veteran, island hopping. And as he's an important part of my life is that in Okinawa, lost his left leg, and they threw him on a truck with the dead soldiers because they found him there. He made some noise, and they figured out, hey, he's alive. So,
you're kidding.
No, he wasn't married yet to my mom.
Wow.
And so they got well, shipped him off to San Antonio and to get treated, and taught him jewelry making and watchmaking. I actually have the letter where he proposed to my mom and talking to her like that. But I just grew, I grew up with my dad, and I didn't realize the seriousness of what he went through because I always had to be quiet in the house, and he enjoyed his time at the beer joints with his friends. And when I was like about 7 years old, maybe, I was with him because I just wanted to be close to my dad. That's all I wanted. The words were never said, but I knew he loved me and I loved him.
Right.
I was married at a very, very young age.
Okay.
I was still in high school.
Wow.
I had my first son when I was in high school, and but I always wanted, since about sixth grade, I wanted to go to the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I had counselors try and taught me, go to the Navy, go to the Air Force. I go, no.
How did your dad feel about that?
I never spoke to him about it, but when the recruiter came, yeah, he wasn't happy.
Okay, I was wondering how his response, because of what he went through.
He knew what I was about to go through, But that was something in my heart and I wanted to do. And I graduated high school. I was shipped off. I left. And I came home about 3 times and saw my family. But again, the words were never there. I love you. You know, those 3 words. I love you, Dad, or I love you, or whatever. And my last visit coming, I was going up the escalator and I just turned around, looked at my dad, and I go, there's something not right. And that was the last time I saw him. Wow. I had 1 month to get out. My sister called. One of my sisters have 3. And I don't know which one called, but they told me my dad had a heart attack. Right then and there, I went to, where I was working at, there was a locker room. I went back there, started praying, but why? Why would God listen to me? I mean, I had no faith. I had anything. Yeah. So about 30 minutes later, they called. He had a heart attack, and he died. And right then and there was a closure of my heart. Wow. And so I came home, buried my dad, everything, came back, and by then I had 2 children. Okay. Picked up my family, came back to Houston. So it was just a process trying to find, what to do, and because I was so accustomed to the military life, I was getting ready to go back. And then I got a job with the city, and then I stuck around there for a little while, and I stuck around there for a long while, matter of fact, for 30 years, over 30 years. And during that time, I knew I didn't have time to go to college because of the way my life went, but I went back to school. I knew I wanted to teach sometime. But then as the time progressed, my heart got colder. I mean, it's a really cold heart, no compassion, I love my family, but anybody else, I just kept them away. My kids were going to church, and I was married back then, and then they were going to a Christian church down the street, right here, Kirkwood South, right here, down the street. And they would go, and then they would ask me, hey, would you like to come, and join us? And politely, I would say, no, thank you. But I would go the big 3, Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas. Sure. Those 3. Yep. One Easter I went, and we were there early, and they put me in a Bible study room with the men. And I go, sure, I'll go sit in there, and they were talking about the Beatitudes. I had never heard that. I grew up in a Catholic school. Okay. I was till 6th grade. Yeah. I never heard of it. And not to this, to that. I was in my 30s. Right. Didn't hear about that. And so it was just, there was the opening right there. And then I started going back. But the problem was, it was like they say, a carnal Christian, just a word, anything. So I was going there, and my kids were getting older, and that's how my faith progresses through. I saw my children, and then my daughter made this. She had a bunch of little friends going to Broadway Baptist out here in the East End, and she kept going over there. Now she was already started college, and so I visited one time, and I go, wow, this is some powerful words, and so I went there. And then I realized, still my walk was not right. So I kept working there. And then the pastor asked me about 4 years later, maybe, he goes, hey, I want you to take some kids, help with the summer camp with the kids. I go, really? I go, what do I got to do? He goes, just drive the kids. Just drive them down there. And I go, okay, I'll drive them. But I don't have to do anything. He goes, no. We were in Palacios. I know that. I don't know what year, but we were in Palacios. Yep. So we were there, and it was high school kids. And every night I was in the tent with the kids. I was in there, and they were coming to me. Asking, they wanted to give their life to the Lord. I go, I'll push them off somebody else. I go, I didn't have it. And so, but the thing is, I'm listening. And in the final night, the pastor was just saying, open your heart. I mean, from the deep recesses of what you have. He's telling the kids, but he's talking to me. Sure. And he goes, just open your heart. The Lord wants to open your heart. And the Holy Spirit wants to get in there and take over. And that was it. Wow. And he did an altar call. All these kids were going up there. Me, an adult.
I love that.
I'm in the middle. And I'm amazing. Just crying. And this man comes up to me. Are you okay? I go, just leave me alone. So from that point on, it's been a walk of how to learn to be a godly man, godly father, and just how to serve and how to love people.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's so great. So then how did you end up at Sagemont?
one door closes, another door opens. I was going through a divorce back then, and it was just, and my mom was still alive. And the thing with Sagemont is they had visited us a couple of times. So, is Stella Davis? Was that her? Remember her? I don't know if you remember her. Mm-mm. She was a former nun, and she went to the church over there to give her testimony. My mom was a strong Catholic. Yeah. She heard the testimony, and then I've never seen my mom move like that.
Miss Stella started Catholic Connections.
That was it.
Yes, we still have that class.
That was it.
Bruno teaches.
And my mom, at 70 years of age, gave her life to the Lord.
That's amazing.
So, I was talking to my mom about it, and I go, "Hey, Mom, I think it's time for us to go find somewhere else." So I knew about Sagemont, and I go, "Let's go try this church first." So we did. We were at the HRA over there. Okay. And the first service, I go, "Mom, how'd you like it?" "Oh, I love it here." I go, "Great. This is it. We're staying."
That's awesome.
And it was it.
And y'all have been here. When was that? How long ago was that?
Probably about 2010, wow. 2011, somewhere in there.
That's amazing.
Been here since.
That's so great. Yeah. So then you've been at Sagemont. You've seen lots of the changes and the worship center get built, and as we're working on the student building, all those kinds of things. Where all have you served or participated, or just tell me a little bit about your life at Sagemont?
Yeah, my service right now is with the youth. I've been serving with the.
Cool.
I teach the 6th grade and 7th grade boys with my son-in-law's dad, Luis Solis.
6th grade.
Yeah,
that's the best.
It's crazy.
I used to teach 6th grade.
Yeah.
I really do love them.
Yeah.
A lot of people might think we're crazy for loving 6th graders, but they're great.
Yeah, that's what I said, But no, we've been teaching them for probably 10 years, because there's kids that we know they're graduating.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I remember when you were there.
Oh, wow.
So we've been doing that for a long time.
That's awesome.
I'm part of the Hellfighters motorcycle ministry.
Okay.
And we do 2 big events, 2 rides. We do a Ride Across America for Jesus, and that's basically what we do is we pick a spot somewhere in the United States, and then we go, and wherever we stop, it's time to start working. It's time to gas stations, restaurants, convenience stores, wherever. So.
Talk a little bit about what Hellfighters is, because people that maybe haven't been around don't know what that ministry is.
Yeah, it's just a motorcycle ministry, and that's basically it, and we go out to share the gospels. We do go to the motorcycle rallies. We do go to the big one up north in South Dakota and Sturgis, and it's just all ministry work,
That's awesome.
And then we do the prisons, we do the vets, anything else.
That's awesome. What kind of motorcycle do you have?
It's a Harley Davidson.
Oh, you're like, he's like, what other options are there? What other kind would it be?
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Everybody says, "Hey, what do you got? What do you have?" So but we make fun of each other's bikes and stuff like that. But it's unique because we're going into their world.
Yes,
it's called the three-piece patch world, and we're going into the world where we understand their rules and stuff. We can't just go, "Hey, how you?" No, there's a lot of protocol in there, and then we have to. It's called a lot of respect, and then you show that respect or show that love in a certain way, and you start gaining something, and then an opportunity to share the gospel. And that's
Absolutely, yeah. I love that. Y'all go down to the big rally in Galveston too, right?
Oh yeah, we're there.
That's what I thought.
We're there every year. Yeah.
That one. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Motorcycles are fun. Yeah. I don't have one. I rarely ride on them, but they're cool.
It's usually when we're going is oh my gosh, we always go in the hottest months and the hottest places, but it's worth it.
That's so great. Yeah. How long have you been doing that ministry?
Probably since 2010, right as soon as I got here, about 2 years after I got here. Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's so.
Because I learned how to ride, when I was in the Marine Corps.
Really?
Yeah. I learned how to ride a motorcycle then, and then I came home.
Like Tom Cruise?
I don't know, does he ride?
Tom Cruise in Top Gun, he rides the motorcycle?
Oh, yeah. But that's
different.
That's a different motorcycle. It's not a Harley.
No, that's the little fast, speedy one. But you could say, yes, that's just like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, like him, okay.
We'll go with Navy. That. Yeah.
That's the Navy guy.
I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, wait, that's the wrong.
Yeah.
All the things. That was just wrong. All of that I said was just wrong.
Some guys will understand what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I am sure. So serving in student ministry with Hellfighters, and just what is it about Sagemont that has just kept you plugged in and serving and ministering here for so long?
Family. And I don't mean because my daughter and my granddaughters are here. My son-in-law's family is here.
Okay.
And my sisters are here. I got 2 sisters here.
Wow, okay.
And, but it's, when we talk about family, I'm talking about the people who care about you. Because as soon as I got here, there's Miguel Rodriguez, and he took me under his wing.
Cool.
And, he doesn't know it, but I just watched his walk, and he would talk to me. And other men that I was involved in, went on many mission trips with Jerry Cicchini.
Yeah.
And just listening to him and talking to him. So all these men in my lives, like, they were willing to talk and willing to say, hey, how you doing? Or what's going on with your life? And just being there.
Yeah. So you've been at Sagemont. You have this family, this love here. How is that, what is that doing as you're processing and looking through the pastor search team for that guy, that man that God has waiting out there for us?
You know, and I've been thinking about that. We're sitting we had a Wednesday evening meeting, and Dr. Richards, and there's a window that faces out, and I'm watching all because it's Wednesday evening, everybody's going to church, everybody's coming in, and we were there pretty early, and I'm watching the people walk by, small kids, bigger kids, moms, dads, older folks, all walks of life.
Right.
And I go, okay, so we're looking for a shepherd. You know, we're looking for a pastor teacher to come and to preach to these folks, to preach the gospel, to direct them, you know. And because some, you know, like anybody, any place else, you know, some people are still lost. They're trying to find that avenue. Okay, Lord, or maybe just say, I'm just here, but is there a God? And we just need that pastor that we're searching for to keep this church unified and keep us strong, especially in these times that we're living in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I love your story of coming to know the Lord. You were in the church. You were serving. You were driving kids around to student camp doing the thing. And we have to be reminded of that every single time these church doors are open, people are coming in that don't know the Lord. Yeah. And they may even not realize that they really don't. And it's having somebody that's going to continue to speak to the hearts of everyone.
Yeah, you know what's amazing is not only here, but here at church, you know, because we put on this face as we come into church, but there's a lot of people that are hurting. And you know, just asking someone, hey man, how can I pray for you? Are you okay? And sometimes they'll start to break or whatever, and they'll pull you aside. Hey, come here, I need to talk to you. Yeah. And I mean, that's the purpose, you know, to help, to bring someone aside. The same with me, you know, and I've got some friends that I'll call, hey man, I need to talk. And so we do.
It's so important to give people the freedom to be real about how they're doing.
Yes.
And it starts, I think, from, like most things, from the top down, and having that culture of, hey, it's okay to be hurting. It's okay to break down. It's okay to ask for help, you know, and continuing to build that.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It's super important. It's super important. So as y'all are on the pastor search team, aside from just praying that God brings that perfect guy that we know he has out there, what is your other maybe biggest thing you're asking of God to do through this process?
One thing I realized is that once they called us, all the team members, they called us, and I go, okay, we're being separated from all the other people in the congregation, and if we think the enemy does not know this, I go, we're foolish. I mean, no, we understand. I understand that the attacks will come, and you know, that's one thing, is to keep us so unified and so protected under the, you know, umbrella of the Lord. This team here to keep focused, and the discernment we need is to find that right pastor, you know, for the right fit. And also for the congregation too, because this affects everybody here here at the church. So we know the attacks are going to come not only within this small team, but also the team. The whole church itself, the body.
I love that. That's such a good thing for us to be reminded of, is praying that just protective covering over our church body, but specifically for y'all individually and as a team and all of that. Y'all have been set apart for such a time as this, for this thing, and we need to be real purposeful in praying that protective covering over y'all. Yeah. Talk a little bit about just because we're in this season at Sagemont of 57 days of prayer, focusing on prayer, something we all should be doing, but really being purposeful to give opportunity to do that and just talking about it more. And so, tell me a little bit about just your personal prayer life.
Sure. It's like my walk. So my walk with the Lord it's grown. And I realized that it's different now. The first thing I do in the morning, and that's my prayer time. And it's not like a get up and go. Like coming to church, I'll sit down and I'll get my iPad and I'll find a song. And I got a little closet like the war room that the lady did a closet. Same thing.
Okay, cool.
So I got a small closet and I got a whiteboard. I got a bunch of names on there.
Wow.
And so I'll pick a song. It's either a hymn or praise song, something like that. And then I do the Psalms, because the Psalms are the prayer book of the Bible. Mm-hmm. So I do a Psalm every day. I read a Psalm before I go into the prayer. So I go into my prayer room, my prayer closet. I sing. I'm not looking for the choir. I cannot sing, but I sing to the Lord.
He says make a joyful noise.
A joyful noise, and it is a noise, but I do sing to him. And then I'll read this Psalm. And sometimes, like the lengthy ones, I'll chop it up in days or whatever, but I read that Psalm to prepare my heart. And then I ask the Holy Spirit, and I ask, okay, Lord, the Holy Spirit to come and prepare myself, to confess myself to the Lord, so he can hear my prayers. I don't want anything to come between me and God in my prayers. Yeah. So then that's when I start my prayers. And then depending on the day, I have different prayers for different folks and family, friends. From the times I've been on the mission trips, from the times I've been on the road with the hellfighters, to the times I've been I go do prison ministries. For all those times I've been and talking to the man in there and I write names down. I got a notebook about like this big, a small notebook since 2012, and I got names, and I pray over those and I pray them. And once that's done, I complete my prayer with the prayer of Jabez, and that's in 1 Chronicles 4:10. And then also I put on for the full armor of God. It goes because I know the attacks. They don't. It's not whether tomorrow or today. It's from the time I get up to the time I go to sit. So I just ask the Lord to protect me from those attacks, because when they do come, I just ask. I start praying right quick. Pray without ceasing. And sometimes I need a quick prayer just to, keep me focused on the Lord. And but that's my prayer life. That's in the morning. And I live outside of Alvin, and sometimes I go outside at night when it's really peaceful, and I just look, and the Bible says, the heavens declare the glory of the Lord, and oh my gosh, how it does. And I just look, and I just pray, and I just thank the Lord for the day, and I just let His glory talk to me. Sometimes just to listen. That's hard. It's not easy to sit still in this. And I'm learning that one still. Yeah. But it's a very. My prayer life is my important part in my growing with the Lord, with Jesus Christ, because that's the relationship process.
I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. I love that you have it set, and and it's not just that you're doing it. You're being purposeful. You're taking it very seriously. You're giving it the importance that God calls us to. Yeah. I love that. And I'm sure you do, but I love the thought of you getting to share that with 6th and 7th grade boys at a young age, for them to see, hey, listen, this is a way you can do this. This is important. Make this part of your day.
Yeah, what we do, well, especially the 6th grade boys, and I tell them, okay, you're not in, and I call it baby church. I go, you're not in baby church anymore, okay? You're gonna, and pretty soon you're gonna be up there with the big guys, the 12th graders. But now, okay, and this is. Learn this. And then prayer is not something, okay, I can pray. No, it's a learning process.
Yes.
To learn how to pray, to learn, you're talking to the Creator, you're talking to God, and learn how to speak with Him and have that relationship with Him. So we're trying to establish, all we want to do is establish a foundation.
Yeah.
So they can grow onto that foundation, because let other men teach them.
Absolutely. As they go along the way. It's the sanctification process that we're all in, and it is a learning process with no end. And so I love that y'all are getting to encourage those guys in that. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge. I adore that. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. I really appreciate it. It was fun to get to chat. Y'all, if you see Raul walking around church, go up, introduce yourself, tell him thank you. Stop and pray for him right then and there, and just that amazing covering that God provides to His people when we ask. And we just are praying that for you and for that whole team.
Yes, please.
And y'all take time to get to know Raul, and like I said, continue to be praying for them. So thanks so much for taking time to come hang out. It was really fun. Yeah, it was great. Y'all, thank you for hanging out at Table Talk. We will see you next time.